Hello everybody, my name is Voyadex, welcome back to another Roblox product review video. In today's video, just behind me is the Cessna 310R by Icelandair. If anyone remembers from my CRJ900 video, that was also by Icelandair, but you guys can watch that review at the end of this video. But if you're new to the channel, or if you're also an existing subscriber, what we do in these product review videos, what we do is list the features, I look around the aircraft, give a bit of a test run, and then give my final review. So let's move on to the features. So moving on to their features, which are listed in the Discord, which I will leave everything in the link section down below from the Discord, and also the Roblox group, and also the Roblox hub, where you can also purchase the aircraft, and also the payhip.com, where you can also use real life currency. So on their feature list we have got the Skytech plane kit, controlled GUI, realistic engine sounds, custom made 3D model, working systems, moving control services, realistic animations, working doors, removable chocks and remove before flight tags, removable yokes and movable sunshades, one pre-made livery, a UV map does include with the purchase, an emergency system and an easy refueling feature. The price for this aircraft is 1,200 Robux, and there's only 10 copies left, so it's limited. I'm unsure if they will bring out any more or it will become unlimited, I'm not sure, so you guys will need to purchase this aircraft as soon as possible. Unless you want to spend $10 US, which I will leave on the payhip.com website. So let's move back onto the game. And we are back on the game. So what I usually do in these product review videos, if you guys haven't watched these before or you're an existing subscriber, like I said, what we're going to look around the aircraft, go inside the aircraft, give it a test run, and then give my final review. So looking around the aircraft, it's quite detailed to be fair. That's what's really nice. Like you can see the bolts on like the engines here, and the wing, and of course at the front of the aircraft. And I gotta say, with their own livery as well, it looks really nice to be fair. So it looks really cool. I gotta give Icelandair 10 out of 10 for this. But anyway, with the ground crew features, so you have got the cover here, and you can just simply click and then it just disappears, and of course you can click again and then it just reappears, which is actually really cool. And I gotta say, the cover, I've not really seen this before on like any Roblox aviation aircraft like as small as like the Cessna here. I've not really seen this, so line a sec, I'm gonna give you guys 10 out of 10 for this. So anyway, as well, it does say on the features that we have got removable chocks and also remove before flight tags. So I gotta say, the chocks are quite detailed as well, which actually was really nice. And I gotta say, the wheel here actually was really cool. So hopefully it does move like the wheels. Like I know some aircrafts and Roblox Aviation do have movable wheels, and you can actually see these little details when being on board these little, like, like flights and stuff like that. So anyway, we're going to remove all these tags and chocks because we are going to give it a little test run. But however, before I get inside the aircraft, there are some compartments that you can open. So we can open the front of the aircraft here. So I'm unsure what you would do here. I'm not sure if it's like a ground crew stuff like that, to look like the wires and the stuff like that, or it's just a little storage compartment. I'm not really sure. But I gotta say, it's actually a really nice little compartment. But also as well, which I was looking around the aircraft, you can open the engines here. So yeah, again, it's like a ground crew thing, so I'm assuming they can just like look at the wires and stuff like that. So that's actually really cool, and it's on both sides as well, so I can open this side and also this side at the same time, which was really cool to say. But also, if I just move back onto this side of the aircraft, I gotta say as well, the windows, I should point out as well, which I just saw, they've got the bolts around the windows, that actually looks really cool as well. It looks really nice. I actually put a lot of good detail into this, and I've got a window on the top here as well. And so if I open this up here, I've got like a little storage compartment, so that'll be like the luggage or any boxes and stuff like that. And it has got a little box here at the back as well, which doesn't open, which is a shame. But however, they have added that little small detail, and so I've got to give Icelandair a bit of credit there. But however, before I continue on to the inside the aircraft with the refueling as well. So if I head over here to click refuel, so if I click on this, I'm assuming the aircraft may jump a little bit. So you can see all the green boxes here. So you can click on either side. So I'm going to click on the nearest one side here because I don't want the aircraft flinging off into the outer space. Anyway, but I don't know how long the wire is. So if I just click on this, oh, there we go. Thankfully, it's not gone to the abyss. So it has actually added a wire here. So I'm assuming you need like a little maybe like one of them like fuel tanks, or maybe add it to a vehicle, where you can actually add a bit of realism to a ground crew, which actually looks really cool. So you can just click off it for it to just disappear, and you can click back on it to add the wire again, just like this. I got to say, it's actually really cool to say that there's actually a lot of ground crew features as well, and actually put a lot of good detail into it. Anyway, let's move on to the inside of the aircraft. So moving on to the interior of the aircraft, it's only this door that opens. Now, I have been trying to open this door here, but I don't think that opens, so it's only this door on this side of the aircraft that does open, which is a bit of a shame really, but I got to say, I don't mind. It's just a Cessna at the end of the day. But the one thing the owner and developers were telling me was the amount of detail they put inside the aircraft as well. So if I just get myself into a good seat here, maybe the first officer seat, that would be really cool. So anyway, let's shut the door because we don't want a draft coming in. So looking around the cockpit, they actually put a lot of good detail. Like you got all the dials and stuff like that, you got the pedals, the gear, like the gear lever and stuff like that, and they have done a really good job with this. Like the detail on it actually was really nice. I'm not sure if the animation or not, so I will have to go into first person when I'm flying around the aircraft, but it did say as well that the movable sunshades do move But the only thing is, I've got to say, when I was looking around, it is a bit of an awkward angle. Can you see that I'm just opening the doors like on the side here? So I'm gonna have to like give it a bit of an angle to do it. So if I just try and do, there we go. So it does come down, which actually is really cool. And yet again, it's actually a really nice feature to see this in Roblox Aviation. It's actually really cool. And of course, if you guys want passengers, you have got a couple of seats, not the captain seat, because that's where your captain will be sitting. So you have got 4 seats in the back here, so you can just sit anywhere in the aircraft, and you have got a really good like view of any seat in the aircraft as well, which actually was really nice as well if anyone's doing like flight reviews or anything like that. So anyway, since we start in the captain seat, so the captain has got all the controls, so there's no first officer, it's just the captain. And you see it's pretty much straightforward. So like you said, it has got a SkyTech plane kit, so it's pretty straightforward. So you got like the fuel pumps and of course all the lights, which I will turn these 2 on and then have a look around the lights. So I've changed the time of day in the game, because if I change it back to the daytime, you guys won't be able to see the lights, so that's why there's a bit of a transaction there. But anyway, moving on to the lights, so we've got the landing lights, which do appear with the bulbs on the wings here, do actually come downwards, and of course then they illuminate. There we go, they do illuminate, and of course they've got a good range on that, to be fair, which is really cool. And of course the taxi light, which will be the front of the gear, and it does illuminate, and it has got, yet again, a really good range. Then we've got navigation, which will be on the wing, so you got the green one here, and also the red one that also illuminate, and then you got the strobes, which are also on the wings, and also the tail here, which do illuminate after a certain amount of time, so between like maybe 10-15 seconds. And of course you got the anti-collision on, and then of course if I move back inside the aircraft a little bit, so actually with the controls, so if I press on C or for Charlie on my keyboard, I have got a really nice POV view of the cockpit. So if I click on this panel light here, it does illuminate with the panels here, which is really nice as well. And also, if you are doing a night flight in this aircraft, it does have a cockpit light. So if I click on this, you can see a little light to appear. So I may have to just turn these off, and you can see, just really, well, barely see it, but you can see if you just have a little look, that it does illuminate inside the cockpit as well, which is actually, yeah, again, a really cool feature. So moving onwards, we have got the parking brake, so that's your anchoring, so the aircraft doesn't move offwards when your ground crew, putting the luggage in, or if anyone's walking around, or passengers are getting on board. So make sure you are turning on that parking brake. And we have got the gears that do go up and down, but I have done a little test on the gears just before I start recording this. So if I do click on the gears, it does make the aircraft go down, and when I retract the gears back upwards, it does not put the aircraft back in the correct position. So make sure you guys are using the gears appropriately when using a flight. And then of course we've got the flaps, which also do make a noise, which is actually really cool. The engines do make a noise as well, but you guys will need to add the engine noises yourself in Roblox Studio, which is simple enough to do through the Studio Creator by adding audio onto your profile. So what we're going to do now is give it a little test run and then give my final review. So what I'll be doing, I'll be giving it a little test run, but what I'll be doing as well is also mute my mic so you guys can hear the engine noises, because the engine noises are quite loud. So what I'll do, I'll give it a little test run, and then of course when I land back the aircraft, I'll give my final review. So I hope you guys enjoyed my terrible flying. Yes, I will need to go back to flight school because it appears that I cannot land an aircraft whether it's in high speed. So I will have to go back to flight school. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the engine noise as well. Like I said, you will need to add this yourself in Roblox Studio. There is a readme script, so there will be a little tutorial on how to basically add the audio to your profile and then also then put it into Roblox Studio as well. But before I do go into my final review, there was a couple of things I did notice as well. So if I go and press on my camera again and then hide the guide by pressing Q or Z on your keyboard, you can see that the guide does disappear. But also, if anyone noticed as well, when I was flying, I did go into the camera mode, and you can see like the joysticks moving around as well when moving the aircraft like this. You see I can, which is actually a really cool feature as well. It's actually really nice. I got to say they've added a really a lot of good detail into this aircraft. I got to say massive credits for them. But also I did notice just before I took off, this arrow on the left side of my screen is the emergency systems, which I did mention in their Discord features. So it goes to come with an engine fire, a burst strike, and of course the hydraulic fails. So when I did press on the gears here, I'm assuming that's when like the aircraft's taken off and you're trying to get the gears upwards, so you don't want the gears out during your flight. I'm assuming that's what it is, because the gears, it does appear that the gears do stay where they are, or I'm assuming it's the other way around when you're landing and when the gears doesn't come back down and you have to do an emergency landing without the gears. So I'm going to turn this off because I don't want the red bar here. So we're going to go on the burst strike, so we'll click on the left engine for the burst strike, so this will be on my side here. So we'll look on this here, and it does the sound, and also the birds do fly out, and it does actually move the propeller as well, which is actually really nice and really cool to see. Wow, I gotta give top credits for that. And of course then we've got the engine fire, so I will use the right engine for this one, so let's have a look what will happen here. And the engine just goes on fire. Great. Wow, where's my fire engines? The engine's on fire, it might explode, but we will turn that off because of the sake of the video. But that's actually really cool as well, so if anyone's using this aircraft for training their flight deck crew, this aircraft is actually a really good feature because it's got the emergency systems as well, and it's actually really easy and smooth to fly as well. So anyway, we're going to move on to the final review. So moving on to my final review about the aircraft, I gotta say the aircraft itself is actually very well detailed, which they did mention with the chairman, and also, no, not chairman, owner. Owner sounds better. So moving on to the final review, I got to say the owner and also the developers were right about how much detail they did put into the aircraft, so the exterior and also the interior of the aircraft, and also adding the features of the emergency system as well, and also the cool animations as well, like the sticks moving inside the cockpit as well. It's actually a really cool feature. And I got to say, I found nothing wrong with the aircraft as well, which is actually quite surprising. I usually find like little details that are wrong about the aircraft, but I got to say there are actually a lot more positives about the aircraft. But I got to say, flying the aircraft itself, like I did mention, it was very smooth. I had no issues with it at all. There isn't any cruise option with it, so you guys will need to add a cruise pad, but I'm assuming with it being a smaller aircraft, you don't need a cruise option because there will be no necessary for it anyway. But like I said, you can add a cruise pad if you want to add a cruise pad for your flights if you do want to purchase this aircraft, which I will highly recommend because the aircraft is actually really cool, especially if you're training in like flight deck personnel for your airline. The aircraft, I gotta say, is actually a good choice to train anybody with it. So if you guys did enjoy this product review video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.